Family bike adventures as a family. Great. How does she even do this? Hi everyone, I'm Dave and welcome to my channel. Over the last couple months, my wife and I have been looking for bikes to make sure that we have enough bikes to go on this big family bike ride in South Dakota. And as we've been looking around, we've noticed that everybody on the internet has been buying bikes. We thought it'd be good to share how we do family bike adventures so that it's successful and enjoyable for everybody. Just share a few of our tips and tricks and hacks. So we started off here today in the garage to show you kind of how we store things, because that's really important. One of the biggest challenges we have as a family when we do bike outings is actually getting out of the door. If you're like our family, you're like screaming and yelling and trying to figure out where everything is. And we have a couple of solutions to fix some of those things. For example, you can see right here in the background, we have one whole shelf dedicated to all of our helmets. We also have a bin over here that has all the sunglasses, gloves, and other accessories that we need on the bike. We also have a box dedicated for hiking stuff as well. And it has things like hydration packs, sunscreen and bug spray, bear spray. And to be honest, this is a really good thing to take even when we go biking as well. We've found ourselves out on trails where we really needed bug spray. Having good tools with you on the trail, whether you're hiking or biking, is really important. So a couple of things that I would include would be first aid kit, sunscreen, some bug spray. If you're in bear country, bear spray is really helpful. Snacks. Christine will tell you the most important tool for success with children on outings is snacks. And she's not wrong. She never is. So we always have some kind of Cliff Bars or fruit or some kind of energy for the kids that helps them be more energized when things get a little bit rough. Anyway, snacks are a good thing to make sure you have on the trail with you. I wanted to pull out my actual pack to show you a few other things that are really essential for going on a bike ride. Spare tube, rain jacket, portable bike pump, patch kit with tire levers and patches, multi-tool. This particular multi-tool actually has tire levers and chain brake tool and a bunch of other things built in. These things are about $25 to $30 on Amazon, but worth every penny. Go get yourself one. Another really important one to have is water. Choose a water bottle or a hydration pack. I like hydration a little bit better when I'm on a bike, because on a mountain bike you get mud and dirt kicked up and it's usually all over your water bottle. So for me, I like a little hydration bladder that I can suck on, and it keeps everything kind of in my pack rather than having to reach out of my water bottle cage and have dirt and grime all over the mouth of the water bottle. Anyway, those are just a few of the quick little things that I usually keep in my bag that I didn't want to forget in the video. So back to the video. So the point is that we take everything and just clear it right off the shelf and put it right into the car and go. Another thing we do before we go is we do our ABCs. It's another acronym that we use to check the bikes before we get into the car or load them into the car. ABC stands for air, brakes, chain, and derailleur. So you want to check the air in your tires, right? Make sure that you've got lots of air, or make sure you have a pump in the car with you, right? You want to check your brakes to make sure that they're working right, that you can squeeze them and they're going to hold the bike nice and tight. Sometimes, in fact, I didn't do that a couple weeks ago and realized that I had a brake pad that had gone really, really bad because I didn't check my brakes. Chain, you just want to make sure that your chain's connected, that you've got a well-lubed chain so that it's not squeaking all over the place. It'll make a much more enjoyable ride. And derailleur is just make sure that you can shift gears appropriately. Today we're about to go on a bike ride. We're going to take you with us. We also want to share with you a few tips and tricks that we have for finding good trails, making a really good adventure for all of your kids so that you can keep going on more. There's nothing worse than creating a plan or an adventure that's just a little bit outside of everyone's skill level and just creates a really bad experience. I have been guilty of that so many times where we've gone out and I've pushed the kids a little bit too hard, or I've just not known where I was going, right? Like those little things, as much as they are and can be adventures, sometimes they can also ruin a trip. So we'll talk about leave no trace. We'll talk about rails to trails. We'll take you with us, show you some of the trails of what we train the kids to do. There's a few things that we teach the kids for good bike etiquette and trail etiquette, and we want to share a few of those with you so that you guys can enjoy all of these things with us. There's nothing like investing your family's time and money into memories and not things. So this is very much not about the bikes, it's more about families and the time and adventures that we spend together. So we're about to load up the car. We're gonna show you how we load up the car. We're gonna show you some of the trails that we're doing and maybe talk to you about how to find some more trails in your area. All right, time to roll that beautiful bike footage. This is just a quick preview of getting our bikes loaded onto the bike rack. It's pretty simple. There's just one hard part at the end, but I've got a He-Man of a daughter that can help. Here is Haley and I just getting it all lifted into place. Just one last grunt, and with that lock, we are ready to go. Okay, here we are on the Ashton-Tetonia Trail. This is a rails to trails trail, which means it used to be an old railroad track that's been reclaimed to be a non-motorized trail. It can be used for cross-country skiing and mountain biking and all sorts of things. But we love these kinds of trails for families because these railroad tracks were meant to never exceed a 4% grade. So even if we were climbing, it really doesn't feel like it. It feels very nice and level. There's beautiful scenery with bridges like this. We can ride 2x2. It's really nice to be able to teach kids certain trail etiquette things, enjoy beautiful scenery. This is the Grand Teton Range in the background. It is just one of our favorite places to go. So I want to show you the map for the Ashton-Tetonia Trail. It's about 30 miles or so from top to bottom. In today's particular ride, we've only ridden about 7 miles of this particular track. It's actually part of a greater plan called the Greater Yellowstone Trail, which is planned to look something like this in the next several years. We can't wait to do something like this. It's like a 200-mile ride. I don't know that we'll ever be able to do it as a family in one trip, but you can see it would be a fantastic thing to do. Now, these Rails to Trails projects are all over the United States, and so I want to show you the Rails to Trails site. If you don't get a chance to come to Idaho or Wyoming to try the Rails to Trails, use this particular website. This is traillink.com. It's part of the Rails to Trails Conservancy. And you can simply put your state in here. Let's see if I wanted to go to Arizona. I could type that in here and I get a great map where I can look up any trail I want, zoom in, zoom out, and find out more details about each particular trail. It's a great way to get started finding new trails and taking your family out there on an adventure. I want to take a second to share with you the Leave No Trace website. If you're new to trails or to biking or whatever it might be outdoors, Leave No Trace has 7 principles that kind of govern the ethics behind basic trail etiquette, if you will. There's a couple of really great principles in here that most families should know about planning and preparation, traveling on durable surfaces, just trying your best to take care of the trails and be a good steward of our resources out there. We all love and enjoy our outdoor spaces, and we want to make sure they're there for generations to come. So if you're not really familiar with Leave No Trace, please just spend a few minutes on their website. They have some great resources to help you get started, educate yourself, and share that knowledge with your family. Whose bums are sore? Raise your hand. Oh yes, there will be sore tushies after the first few rides, but they'll get through it. One other reason we love these Rails to Trails is that we can take time to teach the kids proper etiquette, like how to move over, allow people to pass, use proper hand signals. And you'll see here, the kids did a pretty good job of learning these things. So there's other people walking towards us on the trail and they all move over quite nicely. It took some training, but we got there. They've learned to communicate with each other. So here's some hand signals you'll see from Andrew. There you go. And they get over and they just learn to not cut each other off. And so we had this opportunity over and over again. We had to look ahead on the trail, see who's coming, get over, and make sure we gave everybody plenty of room. Here's another example for you. riding together in groups is really fun, but it also has a certain level of danger with it. So just make sure you teach your kids the opportunity to communicate early and often to help keep everybody around them safe. It shows a great sense of community and awareness for others. Finally, the last thing we do is teach our kids how to take care of their things. Bikes are not cheap. Well, ours were kind of cheap, but bikes themselves are generally not cheap. So taking care of them, washing them up, keeping the mechanics of your bike working well is really important. So we teach the kids how to wash. We don't use a power washer. We just lightly spray water. We use a little car washing brush. And then we lube these chains up really nice when we're all done with like a Teflon or wax-based dry lube. It's really important for a mountain bike. It keeps the dirt from sticking to the chain and keeps everything running and functioning well. So that's the final thing we do. Well, everybody, that's about it for now. Those are a few of our tips and tricks so that you guys can have a really adventurous and successful family outing, whether you're on bikes or you're hiking or whatever you're doing out on the trail. We just recommend that you get out and enjoy the outdoors together as a family. There's so many good lessons to be learned. There's good time to be had and good times to just listen to your kids. So have a good one, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.